Hey everybody, welcome back to Brainiac Baseball's 1969 Seattle Pilots What If Scenario. Today we are going to take a look at the league leaders and the standings through the month of August. If you take a look here, you will see that we just finished August. We unfortunately finished on a sour note with an 8-1 loss to the Senators yesterday. We were on a 6-game winning streak prior to that. And after that loss, I have not looked to see what the standings are. We were within 3 games of Oakland, who we had just swept. We finished 5 games over 500 for the month of August. That's about as good as you could hope for a team that's in the midst of a 44-game streak in which we do not have a day off. You see all of August here. There's no days off. You have to go back to July 22nd for our previous last day off. And then we don't have another one until the 5th of September. So that does kind of make it difficult to rest your players. But I think because our players are so schlubby already, that it makes it easier for me to go ahead and just set them down and put in a replacement for them. Because the likelihood that the backup would be just as good and produce is better than it would be if I had Mickey Mantle in there. I'm replacing him with, one of our schlubby outfielders, or like throwing Rich Rollins in there or something. So, so we finished a good month of August. Let's take a look at the standings real quick. Okay, so Oakland lost as well. So that's great. So we still are 3 games back. We're keeping pace. Oakland is 2-8. In their last 10, thanks to our sweep. Minnesota is 6.5 back as they lost as well. So this division, we definitely have a chance. We have, 28 games to go? 27, 26? 27 games to go. And, we really do have a chance. I don't foresee anybody catching Baltimore. They are on a good pace here. The Yankees are doing their best. They're 4 games back. Cleveland 4.5. But now that we have the September call-ups, which we'll take a look at ours momentarily, I went through and I looked at all the American League teams last night, and I see a lot of the GMs for the other teams are taking their minor leaguers that are September call-ups, and they're putting them right into the lineup or the rotation. Usually it's the 5th man in the rotation, but I don't know how they can do that if they're in the playoff race. It's kind of frustrating to see. We could just look at Washington, who we still have 1 more game to go here, and it looks like Toby Harrah is now going to be their everyday third baseman instead of McMullen, and they have somebody named Mike Thompson, who has replaced Frank Bertana, I guess. And, he comes up from AAA and is now in the rotation. So it's so weird that they would do that. In fact, they've kind of redone their 5-man rotation completely. So I just wanted to show that as an example. But there are other teams that did the same thing. So there is the American League for you. California is the only team that's been eliminated. I don't think it'll be too much longer, and Boston will be out as they're 27 games back with 27 to go, right? So I guess they have 1 more game, whether Baltimore wins or Boston loses, and Boston will be eliminated. Let's take a look at the National League real quick. The Mets are 1.5 up on St. Louis. I really think that New York is the better team, but, stranger things have happened. This was the tightest division for a long time. All 5 of the non-expansion teams were right in it until it looks like this last month, and now they've really dropped off the pace. Montreal, the expansion team in this division, has fallen to 17 games back. So it really is going to come down to whether or not St. Louis can get over on New York. And the same thing can be said for the West, with Houston and Los Angeles battling it out. LA is 1.5 games back on a 5-game winning streak. I think the exciting thing is San Diego has won 3 in a row. They're 7 of their last 10, and they have 38 total wins. So with our contest, it still is looking like Don T is the potential winner. He's got 52 as his amount of games he thought the Padres would win. So that is, they need 14 more wins before it would go to Freddie at 54, and then John M. has 55. Can San Diego win 14 games in the month of September? Let's take a look at their September schedule. Well, they do play the expansion team Expos 6 times. There you go. And the Pirates 4 times. Cubs aren't good, but they have to play the Mets 7 games as well. So, I mean, it's possible they could win 14 games. They would have to go 14-13 and have their only positive win month for the year. So I don't know. It's a tall task. So it's looking like Don T might be the winner of the 1975 Topps contract that has Dave Roberts' autograph on it. His second Topps baseball card contract, I guess, is what I'm trying to spit out there. Okay, so now we've looked at the standings. Let's take a look at the Pilots roster now that we've have our September call-ups. So, I mean, everybody here remains the same. These are the guys we're going to work with down the stretch. Everybody that I have here listed as bench are all people who are in AAA. The only exception is I expanded my roster for batters to 23, and I moved up Fred Stanley, who was in AA. He started off on the roster in out of spring training, but he just was not very good. So we'll put him on the bench, as we've already paid for him to become a major leaguer. I don't think having any... There are none of these guys that I foresee to get real PT unless we drop out, in which case maybe we give Danny Walton and Wayne Comer, who are the only two players rated highly. Those are the only two guys I could see getting some at bat. Otherwise, everybody else will probably finish the season off as our main players. We'll take a look at the pitchers here. Now, because we have so few pitchers in our minor league system, the only players that I will consider actually using here in September are the two Dicks, Bainey and Bates, John Morris, and Bill Edgerton. Edgerton is the only one who has yet to play this year. Everybody else is AA or lower, and they are players that we don't want to start their clock in the majors. So I wish I could just eliminate them from being even on the roster, but I guess we don't have any other way around that. So that's the way it goes. So yeah, I mean that's basically what we're going to go with in the month of September. I did move John Morris down here to the second tier and put Denny Riddleberger back in as short relief as a left-hander. And because he's not that great, but Morris just got rocked in yesterday's ball game, and we'll try to use our left-handers sparingly, and maybe we'll give Bill Edgerton a chance to get some innings and see if he's effective as a left-hander, because Morris cannot get left-handers out as a left-hander. That is so frustrating to me, because how can you use them for matchups? You can't. So that is a problem, in my opinion. Okay, so now we've looked at the standings, and we looked at the September call-ups for our team. We're not going to bother to look at other teams' call-ups. I don't really care much. But we will take a look at the league leaders. So here we go, league leaders for the American League. We're going to do batters first, and we'll be a little more comprehensive this time. Sometimes we kind of rush through these, but because it is the last time we'll look at the leaders until the end of the season, it might be interesting to find out where everyone is. So we're going to start off with batting average since it's right here. The only batter above 300 in the American League is Willie Stargell, batting 305. That was a good trade for Baltimore. Smart move by them. And you see we got Yaz for Gozi. Billy Parker for Cleveland. Is he in the minors? No, I guess he's back on the team now. He's combined. Okay, interesting. Frank Robinson, Bert Campaneris. There's Lou Piniella. He did most of that damage in the Royals uniform. And then we wrap it up with Jose Cardinal and Tommy Reynolds. And you see the rest of the batters wrapping up the top 25. The 25th best batting average in the American League is 259. That is kind of hard to believe, but I guess it's tough. I mean, so many shutouts. I guess when you think about how many shutouts there have been, I guess it makes sense that there would be players who have, low batting averages. Out of curiosity, the at-bats leader is Lou Piniella by 6 over Jim Fregosi. I guess that makes me want to play him more often. Then we have, we're just doing offense right now. Doubles, Lou Piniella is second to Willie Stargell. I mentioned that in a game earlier in the week. He's got 30 doubles, and Willie has 34. No other Pilots player would be even close. If we didn't have Piniella, I don't know if we would have anyone. But even then, with a month to go, the 25th best is at 17. That's not very many extra base hits. Who's grounding into double plays? That's a terrible question to ask. But Frank Howard is the leader, and Lou Piniella is on the list. Okay. Extra base hits. There's Lou. There's Tommy Agee with 37. That's nice. He's actually been our regular everyday, really our only everyday player to get enough at-bats that will probably qualify for the batting title, even though he doesn't. I think he's batting 240. Fielding. Do we want to look at fielding? Yeah, you know what? We do want to look at fielding. We'll do this very quickly. At catcher, it is Ed Kirkpatrick of the Royals. McNerney is third. First base is Bob Spence of the White Sox. We've got Hegan tied for second, and Darren Johnson way down there. That's not good. I didn't realize he was that poor. How many errors does he have? Let's find out. I want to know. He's got 9 errors at first base. It doesn't seem like a ton, but I guess in 80 starts, that could be problematic. What about second base? Do we have anybody that qualified at second? Gary Sutherland, and he's in the middle of the pack. So that's not so bad. As Dave Campbell, who's now on Pittsburgh, and Horace Clark lead with a 995. That's pretty damn good. Third base, Rich Rollins, 940. That is really not horrible for this era at third. Brooks Robinson not leading. It's Bill Milton of the White Sox with a 970. That's pretty damn good. Oh, Lou Klimchak under 900 for the Indians. How many errors has he made? Let's take a look here real quick. 23 errors in 69 games. So 1 every 3 games he makes an error. Oh, wow. They keep running him out there, though. That's probably not a good idea. Let's take a look at shortstop. Freddie Patek has not qualified yet. Jim Fregosi is leading with a 979 fielding percentage. And there's all the others. Okay, left field. Do we have anyone? Lou Piniella, but that's not really with us so much. Mike Hegan played most of the beginning of the season out left for the Pilots. He's got a 987. Roy White, always a good defensive outfielder. Center field. Yeah, Tommy Agee's bounced back and forth from right to center. Jose Cardinal is the best in the AL. Just a tick above Joe Keogh and Del Unser. Right field, no outfielder either. But Bobby Mercer has yet to make an error in how many games? 109 games started in right field. So that's pretty good. He's played in all the outfield positions and 3 games at shortstop, including, I think, once against us. Okay. Games played. 129 by Frank Quilici. I'm not sure if that's out of 129. Lou Piniella's got 124. Then we've got hits. That's a good one. Oh, look at that. Lou could lead the American League in hits. We have to play him every game, right? I think we owe it to him. What if a Seattle Pilot led the AL in hits? We didn't do a league leaders at the end of July because we did the trade deadline special where we looked at all the trades from the entire season. So we never did take a good long look at where everyone was, and I guess maybe we lost track of some things. But Lou Piniella's been hit 8 times. Mike Keegan's been hit 4 times. Tony Soleda has 10 of the Yankees there. Home runs. Everyone wants to know this. This is kind of disappointing because every one of these players up here among the league leaders got out to such a hot start, and now no one's hitting home runs at all. It's like the game front-loaded all the home runs, and now nobody is going deep unless you're some schlub off the bench. It is nice to see Tommy Agee among the leaders. I think I mentioned Sam Bowens was the leader for a long, long time, and now he's had 2 home runs in the last 20, and really none in the last 14. So that's, it's like the game just sort of hit the wall with home runs for certain players. Now it's Norm Cash. How many has he had? He's had 3, but only 1 in the last 18. And Willie has had 4, and that's 2 in the last 16, which is reasonable, I suppose. Frank Robinson, 4. Okay, that's a little bit more spaced out. Frank Howard, 4. Okay. And what about Tom? 4. Okay, so nobody is tearing it up right now with home runs, it looks like. Next category, home run percentage. All right, Willie. Intentional walks. Sam Bowens has 16, and it's not even close. Lou Piniella's got 3. Interesting. On base percentage, Gene Tennis with the 397. Nobody's over 400. Mike Keegan at 346. That's only because he walks a decent amount, but he doesn't have, he's totally stopped hitting. He's become very unreliable. Outfield assists. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Tommy Agee's got 7 despite being a terrible outfielder. But him having 7 made me want to sign him to that long-term deal. Because even though he might be terrible defensively as far as his rating goes, he still does toss out runners trying to advance. So that's, that helps. Lou Piniella has 9. How many does he have for us? Yeah, none. Oh, wait, 1. He's got 1. So, and he's not made an error for us. That's pretty good. All right. Moving on to the next one here, which is OPS. And that is Willie, and it's not even close. He's got an 80-point lead over Frank Robinson. So I would say that's sewed up at this point. Plate appearances, Mike Adams of the Twins. Okay. What else we got here? We don't care about range factor. Runs batted in. Wow, it's going to be tough for anyone to get to 100 RBI. Willie, Norm, and Leo are all possibilities. And then when you get into the below 80s here, I don't know. Lou's got the most on our team, but that's combined. Tommy Agee has 66. So, I don't know. I'm just looking at these guys, and I'm like, I wonder how this, maybe at the end of the year, I will compare runs scored American League in our game versus runs scored total in the American League in 1969 in real life. I'm curious. Runners thrown out. McNerdy's got 28, but John Roseboro has an 8-point lead there, so I guess he's going to probably win that category. Good job by McNerney. He earned his extension, and he might be the opening day catcher next year with a 67 rating. What's his percentage? It's second best, 39.4. Runs scored, Mike Adams has 95. There's a few guys that could get over 100 with Frank Robinson and up. That would mean he'd have to score 20 runs in the month of September. And on Baltimore, that's possible. All right, sacrifice hits. It's going to be, well, I was going to say it's going to be mostly pitchers, but Jerry McNerdy's in there with 12. Are there any other batters in this list here? Bert Campaneris has 9. And that's it. So, Gene Brabender with 9 sacks. Sack flies. Darren Johnson has 8. Lou Pinella's got 5. Sal Bando is tied with Darren Johnson with 8. So, not too shabby. Who has the highest salary? Did we ever look at this? Oh, yeah, this is like the fraud salary. Jorge Rubio was a free agent who had a good rating, and for some reason, the Yankees decided to sign him, put him in Double-A, but they're paying him $1 million, at least until the end of the year. Maybe they'll re-sign him for less. That's dumb. That's real dumb. No pilots on the list. Okay, slugging percentage is, Willie Stargell. Wow, by a lot. Stolen bases. Okay, Tommy Agee right up there with 33. Bert has 47. This is 1969. What led the American League in stolen bases? How many? Who? Well, we know it was Tommy Harper, right? And he had 72 that year. So we are way behind, that leader. Freddie Patek's got 11. That's because he gets thrown out all the time. He's 11 for 25. That's ridiculous. Let's take a look here at, is this strikeout by a batter? Yeah. Mike Epstein has 119. There's 10 batters right now that have over 100. This was an era when that didn't happen very often. But Agee and Mike Keegan, who will eventually get there, are the only 2 Seattle Pilots listed. Okay. Strikeout percentage. I'm curious about that. Lou Piniella strikes out 10.8% of the time, and McNerney at 13.3%. I guess Sutherland doesn't qualify, but he only has 11 strikeouts in 330 at-bats. So he would be right here at the top with Walt Williams, I would think. What else we got here? Total bases. Is that Willie? Yeah. Willie's the MVP hands down right now. He's leading almost every category. Triples. Frank Quilici has 9. And then Don Bosch has 6. Agee's got 4. Rollins has got 4. All right. And walks. Mike Adams with 95. Higgins got 61. I don't know if he's even going to be on the list. I don't really have a reason to play him other in defensive replacement situations. But he strikes out too much. He does walk. He's not hitting anymore. Well, actually, I guess he never hit before in his life. So maybe we were expecting a little too much from Mike Hegan this year. Okay, what else we got here? All right, that's it. So let's take a look at the pitchers categories, and then we'll just look at the main categories for the National League, and then we'll wrap it up. Okay, pitching. We're just going in alphabetical order here. Complete games. I think the most we have is Brabender with 3. Those are all shutouts, by the way. Catfish Hunter's got 11, and Denny McLain's got 10. ERA, here we go. Sam McDowell at 206, but he will not last. He's out for the year, and he didn't get enough innings to qualify. He needed, 18 more innings to technically qualify for the title, and he didn't get it. So you could say that right now it's a battle between the Yankees, Mel Stottlemyre, Al Downing, Andy Messersmith, and don't count out Gene Brabender. A couple bad starts for these guys, and Brabender could sneak in there. I don't think I've ever, in any sim season I've ever played, over 20 years of playing this game, I do not think I've ever had a pitcher that won the ERA title. I think I could safely say that. Let's see here. Games pitched. Mo Grabowski. Hey, Mo. Steve Hamilton. Bob Locker, Raleigh. And Diego has pitched in the most games on our team, which is probably why he started to give up some serious runs. And you see the other names there. Okay. Grounding into double plays induced. Joe Coleman of the Senators has 33. You're not going to get any Seattle players ever on that list. Who hit the most batters so far? Jim Rooker's got 11, Dave Boswell 10, and no Seattle's Pilots players. Home runs allowed. Now, this is ridiculous. I know it. You know it. 50 by Denny McLain. Oh, there's Joe Pactwa that we had to forcibly retire because he gave up 22 home runs in 3 innings. Oh, man, that makes me laugh every time. We really tried to make Joe Pactwa a major leaguer, but oh, my gosh, that is funny. That is so funny. I mean, so Denny McLain, there's obviously some kind of weird glitch there. And yet he's still going on. All right. And then, so Louis Tiant's given up 35. Oh, that's funny stuff. All right. Innings pitched. Yeah, we're not going to have anybody on here. We don't. We have a 5-man rotation most of the year. And then Don T made that really good suggestion about going to 4. And we did that during this 44-game stretch until Brabender got back. Innings per game, nobody. Messersmith, almost 8 innings per game. What else here? Nothing there I care about. Quality starts. Andy Messersmith and Mel Stottlemyre. They are the longest. We don't have anybody that qualifies for that. Well, yeah, because we don't get anyone to go 6 innings. That's why. Quality start percentage. Jerry Nyman. The guy's made 9 starts. How can he even qualify? It's dumb. All right. Saves. Here we go. There you are. Mike Marshall, finally a Seattle Pilot leading a category. Mike Marshall, 31 saves in 35 opportunities. Good job by him. He goes to arbitration next year. That's going to be a problem. I don't know if he's someone we're going to keep or if we're going to go to Lockwood. I don't know. But there are your leaders. Steve Hamilton's got 24. From the Yankees, shutouts. Okay, Gene Broadbender's got 3. Al Downing leading with 5. Starts. So yeah, players are already, with a month to go, these players have already reached what a player might pitch if he were to go every 5 days in modern times. So, I mean, they're going to get another 6 starts at least, I would think, maybe 7. All right, strikeouts pitched. Andy Messersmith leads with 200. Is he a rookie? I can't remember. No, he's in his 2nd year. He's a good pitcher for California. He's wasted on that team. Downing, we don't have anybody. We don't have anybody at all. I think Stevenson is just outside the top 25. I think he has 130, 132 or something. And strikeouts per 9. Oh, there we go. Jerry Stevenson is going to win this because McDowell won't qualify. Stevenson will. He has 129. And I would imagine he's going to throw 20 more innings. And that would get him to qualify. Oh, also, we got a new baseball card representing Jerry Stevenson. Julio L. found this for me on the internet. And I should also mention, I don't know if anyone will even watch this video, but I always appreciate it when everyone takes the time to search for cards for me. But unless they're an original photo or an actual Topps baseball card, a real life one, any card that is manufactured by another person from scratch is like considered art, and you're not really supposed to, steal someone's artwork. And so, unless you get permission, and I often do that, as you know, I hire Jeremy DeYoung to create cards for us from time to time. But I'm gonna steal this one because I like it. If I knew who the artist was, I would give him proper recognition. But normally, I would never do that, and that's just my parameters for using artwork. Otherwise, we got Bob Meyer, who does a good job, and Broadbender, just under 7. Okay, strikeout percent, blah, blah, blah. Walks per 9 innings. Yeah, Marty Patton, despite starting to give up walks here at the end of the year, he does lead in that. So we may actually have a few pitchers lead some categories here. That's pretty cool. Okay, wins. Dean Chance has 18. The White Sox have taken Gary Peters, even with the September call-ups, and they put him in AAA. I saw that when I was going through the runners after the call-ups yesterday. So the guy's got 18 wins, and they're not going to pitch him in September? That is just, this game is so stupid that it does stuff like that, but there's nothing you can do to prevent it. The Gene Broadbender's got 12. It's nice to see him on that list. I could see him getting 3 more wins. And the last category for today is winning percentage, which is Gene Broadbender, who's 12-3 and leading the American League. So we definitely do have some pitchers that are among the league leaders. This was batting average. Let's just take a look at the National League leaders. Very quickly, here are the top 25 batting average for the National League. Willie Davis and Pete Rose, Orlando Cepeda. Look at these Hall of Fame caliber players. Not Tim McCarver, not Bake McBride or Felix Millan, but Dick Allen should be in the Hall of Fame. Roberto, of course, is. And Larry Heisel. And their 25th is 271, where ours was, 259 in the American League? So there you go. We'll take a look at the home run. Top 25 is Hank Aaron. Big lead over Dick Allen. There's Michael Jack Schmidt as a rookie with 23. Orlando Cepeda, Billy Williams, Bobby Bonds. Willie McCovey. Johnny Bench. Yeah, this game just does not understand how to calculate extra base hits. That's frustrating. Okay, let's take a look at earned run average. Holy smokes. The Ryan Express, 195 ERA, 20-6. Holy smokes. Nolan Ryan, I love the game gets Nolan Ryan right. That's awesome. And you'll see other fireballers there. Bob Gibson and Don Wilson, Tom Seaver, Juan Marichal, and Sutton and Gaylor Perry are junk ballers. But a lot of big names there. Who's Jeff James? I don't even know who that is. That guy. Oh, he's on the DL for 4 days. All right, and we'll take a look here lastly at wins. Now, they've already got players with 20 wins in the NL. Gibson, Ryan, and Don Wilson have 20. Lefty has got 18. Don Sutton's got 17. And Don Drysdale, well, has 15. That's way off. Well, I mean, it's kind of amazing, right? All these great names performing in this era in the National League. I like that. The only other one I guess I want to see is stolen bases in the National League. Let's just take a look at that real quick, and then we'll wrap this up. Stolen bases. 68 by Lou Brock. That makes more sense. Better than Campaneris' 41 or 47, whatever that was. So Bobby Bonds with 54. Joe Morgan, Bake McBride. Okay. All right, then. That's going to do it. I think we've spent enough time here looking at the league leaders. We will take one last look at the league leaders when we get to the end of the season and before the playoffs start. I think that will do it for today, right? We're going to come back. We're going to play the first game for the Senators tomorrow. I'm not going to get another game in today, unfortunately. And so come back tomorrow. We'll get game one started. Also, the new version of Baseball Mogul will be available tomorrow. I will purchase that. I just won't load it up until, I don't know how I'm going to do that. Shoot, because I got this game finishing, and I have the other game starting on the 1st. So I'll think that through a little bit more. Okay, until next time, everyone have a great day.